Good morning. It is January 15th, Sunday, and as you can tell by the title, I am pretty excited. I figured this would be a great first vlog, but we're getting ready to get going. It is currently almost 10 a.m. in the morning. We've got about an hour drive to the dealership, so we're getting ready to head that way, and I'm so excited. Okay, so we're getting gas. We're in my aunt's 2023. What is this, Dad?
January.
No, not the date. What's the truck? The name? It's a Frontier, right?
It's a Nissan.
Frontier.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really nice too. It has Fender speakers on it. That's pretty cool. So yep, stopping by to get gas, and we are on the way. I am very excited. So yeah, we'll be at the dealership soon.
You filming?
Just filming. We're on the way. We're here. Oh, and it's sitting up. It's sitting right in the front. Look.
Oh yeah, there it is.
All right, we have made it. It is time to go take a look at it. It's right over there. He already went out and put it out in the front. So let's go take a look.
So I did put a rear tire on it. I didn't want to, I didn't budget that, but I put a rear tire, I put a battery in it, and then I serviced the engine.
Okay, excellent.
So and the lady that had this was from Greenville. She's still waiting on her bike.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just shipped finally.
What did she get?
Rebel 500.
Rebel 500?
Yeah.
Look at this. This thing is insane.
She filmed me. Look at this old bike. Not for sale. Please keep off. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, short and sweet.
Boom.
Thank you, dear.
Boom.
Appreciate it. And here is your bill of sale.
Okay, thank you.
And everything to go along with it.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Okay.
You
Finally.
waited. He said you did it right. He said you did it right. Here's your bike, baby.
I'm excited. Well, hello. So it has been about a month since I filmed that. So I've had the bike for about a month now. Here it is. It is a 2016 Iron 883. So here it is. Now, I know what you're saying. It looks a little different since you guys saw me pick it up at the dealership, because I've done some modifications to it, but I think I will talk about that in a separate video. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like in its current form. So yeah, there's the bike. I figured we'd go and take it for a spin, and I'll talk to you guys a little bit about my biking history. So let's go take it for a spin. Okay, so I think it's finally time to go for a ride. So unfortunately, when I went for this ride, my audio came out really bad. So I decided just to do a voiceover and talk to you guys a little bit about what kind of got me started into biking and how I ended up finally getting a Harley. When I was younger, my dad actually owned a Magna, and I was really small at the time, so he would actually get me onto the gas tank when we rode, and I just totally fell in love with it. I knew right then and there that I was really wanting to get a bike when I got older. Something else I remember is having a Harley Davidson Power Wheel, and I drove that thing everywhere. I was about 3 or 4 years old. I drove that thing all around the yard. I would pretend to stop at gas stations to get gas. So really, that was probably my first Harley Davidson, what I consider my first Harley Davidson. And I thought I was so cool. I absolutely loved that little Power Wheel. So that kind of got also the bug going in me to get a bike. I knew I wanted to get a bike in the future. So fast forward into my teen years. I was about 13, 14, and I saved up about $300 or $400. I decided I was going to get a Pagsta. So if you know what a Pagsta is, good for you because you're one of a handful. But pretty much what it was is a moped version of a Rebel 250, a cheap Chinese garbage moped replica of a Rebel 250, which I will get to in a minute. So it looked like a Rebel 250, but it sure didn't drive like one. So I didn't need a license or anything for it, and my mom really wasn't big into motorcycles and riding in general. I totally get it. That's just how she is, and I love her. But at least I wanted something to kind of get me by until I could actually afford a motorcycle, and I think it treated me well. And then fast forward into my mid-20s, and that's when I decided to get the KP Mini, which you guys have seen on the channel. I've done a couple of videos on it, and I did end up selling that bike. Unfortunately, I miss it. But I know that the new owner of that bike is really enjoying it. I put a lot of love into it, and it was a great bike. The reason I went with that bike is because I really loved Honda Groms. I still love Honda Groms. They're awesome, but I just wasn't willing to spend that much money on a Grom at the time, and they had the KP Mini, and it was cheaper, and it had more horsepower. It was 150cc, and I'm glad I went with that. Though Honda Groms are awesome. But if you're looking for a great Grom alternative, watch my video on the KP Mini. But anyway, I did end up selling that, and my dad and I went and picked up a couple of Honda Rebel 250s. I got one for a great deal. It was a 2016. It had about 200 miles on it. It was in pristine condition, and I ended up bobbing it out and making it look really cool. There's a company called Blue Collar Bobbers that have kits that make Rebel 250s look like really cool bobbers. So, of course, I got the bobber seat and bobbed out the fender. I had that thing looking pretty awesome. And Dad had one too, of course. He was a giant on the thing, and we rode around town and enjoyed them while we did. But we had those for about a year, and we realized that we wanted to do a bit more commuting on them. So we needed a bigger bike. Now, I never thought I would ever own a Harley Davidson. I thought I could never afford one. I remember going when I was younger with Dad also to the Harley dealerships, and all I wanted to do was look at the Sportsters. All I wanted to do was sit on a Sportster, and I kept dreaming, one day I'll own a Harley Sportster. That's my dream bike. That's what I want. But I never thought I could really get one currently. So, of course, being naive, I was looking around at bikes that looked like Harley Sportsters. So I kind of landed on a Yamaha Bolt, which are great bikes, by the way. They are fantastic. They're pretty much the Yamaha version of a Sportster. And then I realized, well, if I'm looking at bolts, I could probably afford a Sportster. So that's what happened. I finally went and just looked around at Sportsters and realized I might be able to actually afford one. And fortunately, I got a raise at my job and I got a bonus. So things were just kind of falling in place, and it was finally time to go pick up the dream bike. So this here is a 2016 Iron 883. I'm sure you guys heard me mention that earlier. And I'm absolutely loving it so far. I love the charcoal denim paint job. I've always been obsessed with like gray vehicles. My car's gray, the bike's gray, and yeah, I just like it. I like the way it looks. Something I love about Iron 883s is just the way they sound, the way they look. They look kind of like that classic bobber style. They're incredibly loud and powerful. So it's just a great bike. I mean, I'm really, really loving it. It's got a lot of pep in its step. My dad ended up settling with a Honda Shadow 750, so I am glad I went with the 883. I know a lot of people that are in the Harley community are like, you're gonna want a bigger bike, you're gonna want a bigger bike, but for right now, I'm loving this thing, and I know eventually I probably will get a bigger bike, but one thing I know for a fact is that I will probably never sell or trade this bike in, because I've heard a lot of owners of the Sportster, and they either regret selling it or they're super glad that they didn't and they got a different bike. So no matter what, this will stay in my collection. Something that's really awesome about riding in general is just the biker community. I remember last year me and Dad were riding around on the Rebels and we had an issue and we had to pull over, and a couple of bikers went and helped us out, and it was awesome. I mean, it's such a great community to be a part of. So with that being said, if you are trying to get a bike or you're saving up for something, I mean, I can't recommend the Sportster enough, but if that's not your style, I hope you get whatever bike you're dreaming of getting. I definitely want to know in the comments below what bike that you guys love and that you guys fall in love with. Definitely comment that below. I'm just curious now as to what you guys want, and you know, if you guys ride, and if you are looking at getting a motorcycle and you're indecisive, I'm telling you, it is the greatest feeling ever riding on a bike. That's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope that I get my audio fixed a little bit and we can go riding some more. I've got to figure all that out, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.